Hi boys and girls, Mrs. McGuire here. So I don't know if you know this about me, but you probably do. I love to bake. So I thought I would tape myself making some of my favorite recipes, and then maybe you can try them out at home with your family. And I have my sous chef here, Michael, who is gonna help me. So the first thing you have to do is have an adult help you set the oven to 350 degrees so we can warm up the oven and get it ready to bake. Next, for we're gonna make banana bread today. And I think we're gonna add in chocolate chips, right?
Yes.
All right, so you gotta go get the chocolate chips. Oh, and I have Landon here to help too. Okay, so after you preheat the oven, you're gonna get a loaf pan like this and some spray, or you could use butter to grease your pan. But you wanna make sure that you grease the pan nice and evenly with a good coating so that your banana bread doesn't stick, because there's nothing worse than a banana bread or anything that you make sticking to the pan. Thumbs down. Okay, so the first thing we are going to do is I have all my ingredients measured out already to make this a little bit easier for us. So we preheated the oven and we greased our 9x5 loaf pan. And now in a large bowl, we're gonna put together 2 cups of flour. So we add that in, Mike. Okay, and then we need some baking soda. So we need to have 1 teaspoon, so you get a measuring spoon like this, of pure baking soda. And most of us have this in our house for baking, or you can even use this in your fridge to take out of the yucky smells. So we put in 1 level teaspoon of baking soda. Great. Next, here, put that in the sink, we're done. Next, we're going to do our salt. So we need 1/4 teaspoon of salt. So we take our salt, and you want to make sure when you pour this very carefully. Oops, see, I poured too much.
Now you're
I'm gonna come over here. I know. I'm gonna come over here and add in that salt. Great. And then you could just give it a little stir around. Oh, and make sure you wash your hands before you start this. Okay, so we have in our flour, our baking soda, and our salt, and we're gonna put this to the side. Here you go. Next, I'm lucky to have this handy dandy KitchenAid mixer, and this is what I'm gonna mix my next ingredients in.
Is that right?
First, I'm going to take a 1/2 stick of butter, okay, and you don't want it to be melted. You want it to be a little bit softened. You don't want to have it right out of the fridge, or it's gonna be hard to mix, especially if you're doing this by hand. So you're gonna put in 1/2 cup of butter, which is 1 stick. And then scratch, I don't know. Okay, throw that out, sous chef, thank you. Then we're going to put in our brown sugar. So we pre-measured our brown sugar to 3/4 cup. Now this is where fractions come in handy. So 3/4 cup, the numerator is 3, the denominator is 4. So we are 75% full. If we had 1 cup, that would be 100%. This is 3/4 cup, 75%. So like 3 25s, right? Like we always really get to quarters. So Mikey's gonna go ahead and pour that in. Here, you wanna take this off, it'll be easy. There you go.
Stuck. It's stuck. It's stuck.
All right, so we have our thing here. And you have to make sure that you wanna pack your brown sugar. Packing your brown sugar means when you put it in the measuring cup, you want to press it down all the way.
Make sure your hands are clean now.
Yeah, well, that's why we clean our hands first. So you pack the brown sugar in there. Great. Then, in this bowl,
We don't do this anymore, right?
no, you can put that in the sink. Butter and brown sugar, we're going to cream that together. So I have my mixer. I'm going to put that back on. It is good. And then I'm going to show you. It's going to be mixing it together. Okay? That's called creaming the sugar and the butter together.
No,
Don't lean on it.
that comes in.
So we're going to wait till that does a little bit, and on the side, we're going to get 2 eggs ready. And I listed all the ingredients on the link underneath this so that you could prepare your ingredients before you start making your banana bread too. While this is going on, or even beforehand, I'm gonna stop that. You wanna make sure you have your bananas. Now, I always make banana bread whenever there is a lot of brown, old bananas in our house that no one's gonna eat. Those are the best for baking. So this recipe calls for 2 1/3 cups, which could be about 4 to 5 bananas depending on the side. I always like to throw in the extra one just to get that extra banana taste. So here, I'll show you my mashed bananas. You peel them, you put them in the bowl, and you mash them with the fork. It's wonderful. Very easy, and that's something that this little guy loves to do. Okay? So my brown sugar and my butter are creamed together. The next thing is to mix in our eggs. So I'm gonna stop this, and I'm gonna lift it up and get my spatula. Okay, now the trickiest part of this is not to get any shells into the bowl. So what I always do is I crack the egg on the counter, and then put it in. Good. No shells. Beautiful. And now Landon's gonna do the next one. No shells, Lulu, okay? Need help? Oh boy.
What, do shells?
No shells. Okay, throw that away. What? All right, Michael, go bring Emma a water bottle. Okay. So we have our eggs in here without the shells. Do a double take. Great. And then I'm just going to stir those in. And then while those are being mixed in, we are going to add our mashed bananas. This is my favorite part because this is when it starts really, really coming together. So the eggs are being mixed in, and I don't know if you can see over here, I'll move this. I'm going to start pouring in the mashed, whoop, some fell, bananas.
Mom, just stop and
I know, I dropped a little on the side. I should have stopped that first and done it. But that's okay. So then I'm going to use a spatula to scrape all the extra banana off the side because my grandma said you never want to let anything go to waste. That's your strength. Okay? Right there. Then I'm going to scoop this up because my counters are clean, so that's okay. And then I'll mix that back up. Okay. Next, oh my goodness. Now I'm going to clean up some of my workspace. I know you're not eating them, right?
There she is.
Okay. So now the next part to do is going to be to get the flour mixture. And we're going to sprinkle it in here. So again, you can use your spatula. Yep, you can put it in. Yeah, you can use a spoon, but I say the less I use, the less I have to clean. So you want to make sure that everything gets in there.
You mix it.
And then, what's this one? It's going to come here. Take that. And then I put this down. Okay. And Michael asked me today if we can make this a little bit extra special and add in chocolate chips. So I never say no to chocolate chips. You know I love my candy. So we're going to put these in too. I'm not going to measure them. There's about a little more than half of the bag. So we're going to add that in. Remember, 1/2 is 1/2. That's 1/2, or 50 cents, 50%. That's what I do. So I'm going to show you now what my mixture is starting to look like with all of the ingredients in it.
Add them in one.
And I'm not sure if you can hear Mackenzie, but she's practicing her tap dance, so sorry if it's very loud. Okay, so that's it. I'm going to start sprinkling in the chocolate chips. And I'll tell you that banana bread in my house probably lasts about 1 day. That's it. So the kids get excited when we do it. And you know what? Let's just go for it all. I added all the chocolate chips. We're going to throw that out. So that's going to mix up, and now I have my pan ready, and it looks like my oven is almost preheated. So I'm going to take my banana bread recipe out and scrape off this part because I want to get all of the extra. Remember, Grandma says not to leave any behind. So all of our strengths, she would say. If you could hear the noise in the house, that's what my life is like every day. They never stop fighting. They never stop yelling. So I just bake. Keeps me sane. Okay, so now I have my, okay, move that away please, sir. I'm just gonna, I always take my spatula,
Give it an extra mix.
just give it an extra mix just to make sure all the stuff is off at the bottom. All right, now the grand finale when we pour it into our greased pan. Remember, it has to be greased.
Or
because
pan,
you
you
don't-
can use pan.
Yeah, I used pan, but it's a pan, a greased pan, because you don't want it to stick to the sides because then you'll be eating your banana bread and you won't get all the goodness of it. Okay?
Goodness.
All the goodness. Michael's making fun of me. That's okay. Oh, all right. So I'm getting all the stuff. Don't breathe over it. I'm getting all the stuff out. Nice and empty. Grandma would be proud.
I gotta go.
And then I'm going to smooth out the top.
We got a spatula.
No, they're all in here. Okay.
Make the spatula of that. Can I lick that?
No, you don't need this. Michael wants to lick the spatula, but it's not going to taste good because it's banana bread batter. But I'll just use a knife to scrape off as much as I can.
Don't use this. Don't use this.
And that's it.
Oh, I dropped it on the floor.
Then, all right, so pick that up. All right, my next trick is I just set it on the counter a few times to make it nice and even. Then it goes in the oven. That's it. I hope you enjoy making my banana bread. If you do, let me know. And maybe next week I'll put up another recipe. See you later.
Brownies.